Hello, everyone. Why am I not showing as live? What? Sorry, guys. If I'm live, I apologize. Just getting set up here. Why can't I find myself live? That's weird. Hoping to follow along in chat. Sorry, guys. I am trying to, find my chat. That's fascinating. If I search Sim Racing 605, Chris Hay comes up. There we go. Hey, Ferrari Man 601. All right, I am live. Let's see if this guy's any good. Well, let's hope for the best. And Stiggy says, didn't expect to see you. I didn't expect to see me either. Live streaming is not usually my thing, but we'll see how this goes. Just basically going to hang out, watch the race, hopefully interact with you guys a little bit. Ferrari 601 is usually the guy that does the commentary, and he's fantastic. But I thought I would take my own stab at it and just probably not do so much commentary, just kind of maybe more color commentary about the race. And if you have any questions about sim racing or anything like that, we can talk about that too. So it is 10:59 local time, which means it's 2:59 in Montreal. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to get this race going. Let me just test my chat here. Oh, I can't chat because I'm not signed in. You guys have ESPN in the US, right? Whoops. My dog just moved my camera. Okay, stay there, buddy. Yes, ESPN has. I'm in Canada, but ESPN has the equivalent up here. We used to call it TSN. I think it's just called Sports Center. I'm not sure actually what it's called, but yes, we have ESPN equivalent. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm just using a iPhone to stream. Obviously, the quality is not going to be tremendous, but can you guys hear me okay at least? Audie says, you play iRacing? No, I do not. I was an iRacing member actively for about 6 months, I guess it was, and I really enjoyed it. It's a good sim, without a doubt, but the problem I had is I usually only sim race for about 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, and so that didn't give me enough time. I couldn't do a practice session and a qualifying and a race either before I have to go to work or before I go to bed at night. So even though I had a good time with iRacing, I couldn't play it unfortunately. So yeah, had to cancel my subscription. And the only thing, some reverb, nothing severe. Okay, cool. Thanks, Stiggy. The only thing that bums me out about canceling my iRacing subscription is that you don't get to keep anything. Like, I paid for the content, I bought a few cars, I bought a few tracks. Since I don't have the subscription, I have nothing to show for that investment. So it stinks, man. Like, I wish there was some offline mode that you could run, but apparently AI is coming. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get the AI and I racing the same time we get the new UI in R Factor 2, I'm sure. All right, so where are we at here? Drivers are in their cars. Lewis Hamilton starting from the second position to the shock of many. I know there's a lot of Ferrari fans out there. I'm sure you guys were happy. Congratulations, Sebastian Vettel. What a lap. That was incredible. I thought Lewis had it for sure. I just saw him getting faster and faster, and I was like, okay, another pole position. But Seb put it together, and decisively, too. What was it, about 2/10 of a second? It was incredible. So we'll see what happens here. I was kind of looking up, I don't know the the Canadian Grand Prix track, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I don't know it that well, but I believe it's a little kick to the right. Let me look at it here. Yeah, turn one, little kick to the right, and then a hard left. Hamilton, I believe, will be starting to the right of Sebastian Vettel, so Vettel should have a pretty good advantage there. But Hamilton's been having some good starts this year, actually. He's been really quick off the line. I think he beat Bottas off the line on a couple occasions, so could be a very interesting turn one. We'll see what happens. How do you get the most of those two 30-minute sessions? Do you plan your race beforehand? Yeah, I do. I do a lot of writing when I'm planning out my channel, so I just keep a notebook and it looks like the scribblings of a madman. It's just every time I have a video idea, I jot it down. Sometimes I'll write full scripts, but I find my best videos are unscripted, or the best videos, in my opinion, are unscripted. So I've sort of reduced it. I've stopped doing scripts and just take notes. But it just kind of, you're dependent on inspiration, of course. So anytime it comes to me, anytime I'm like, oh, that might be an interesting video, I jot it down. And probably, I'm gonna say, of all the ideas I write down, maybe 5% ever make it to a full video. I just, anytime anything remotely interesting comes to mind, I try to do it. And then I kind of laid out in my head, like, yes, this is a viable idea. I can do this. People would be interested in this. And then, yeah, just try and shoot all my B-roll first. And then while I'm driving, while I'm doing the B-roll driving, kind of map it out in my mind what I want to say. So generally with those two 30-minute sessions a day, I can churn out a video, but I would love to learn video editing. I would love to have a more professional looking channel. The problem is within those time constraints, I just don't have time, I don't think, to properly edit a video. Like when I look at somebody like a Chris Hay or somebody like that, or a Dre Marcos, and they're doing these beautiful videos, which in my opinion are as good as TV quality. I would love to be able to do that. I would love to invest the time in a course to do video editing. But again, time constraints. I would rather put out content regularly than have to, you know, because if I only have two 30-minute sessions and it takes a couple hours to edit to the level of a Chris Hay or somebody like that, then I don't want to be down to a video every week or 2 weeks. So yes, I plan the most out of my time, and video editing comes second to churning out regular content. Yeah, wicked launch map, I agree. Um, Yeah, we'll see what happens in turn one here. I don't think Hamilton's botched the start yet. The interesting thing, I think, will be positions 4 through 6. Let me check the running order here. I was thinking about this last night. Ricardo in fourth, Gasly, Bottas. I thought Bottas got fifth, but he's actually sixth. So he's going to be all over Pierre Gasly. And then Daniel Ricardo, amazing. Glad to see him up in fourth. But I think Valtteri's going to give those two a lot of trouble over the first 10 to 20 laps, and then you might just be reduced to another Ferrari Mercedes showdown. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The real bummer, though, comes way down. Lance Stroll. Poor Lance Stroll. I believe it was last year when he got taken out on the first lap, and right now he's starting in 18th position, so just above the Williams. Not a good look. Not a good look for his home race. So it really stinks for Lance Stroll. You know, as a Canadian, I would love to support him. I would love to get behind him. But yeah, it's I don't know. The guy just either has no luck, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he needs to study more, get a little more mature behind the wheel. We'll see. But right now, he's just not an easy driver to cheer for, unfortunately. Jonathan Straitman, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I remember, I guess, would it be about a year ago when yourself and Ferrari Man and a few others were doing those hot lap contests, and you guys were all within like a tenth of a second of each other. That was really impressive. I hope you guys fire that up again soon. That was really exciting to watch. I'm trying to think of who else was in that. I think Play Everything was part of that. Maybe one more. But very exciting. I would be into that if you guys wanted to do that again. All right, running order here. Nico Hulkenberg starting seventh. Lando Norris, good showing. Uh, Max Verstappen ninth. What? Really? I thought Max Verstappen got. I thought something happened to him in the Q sessions because of the crash that he didn't make Q3. Maybe I was wrong. Kimi Räikkönen, poor guy, all the way down in 16th. Stroll, Russell, 17th, 18th. And K-Mag pulling up the rear. Kubica, 19th. I don't know what you do with Kubica. I mean, he's a proven winning driver, but I don't know if it's a lack of motivation or what, but he just does not seem competitive this year. Obviously, the car is terrible, but even with his own teammate, he doesn't seem competitive. So I don't know. Maybe there's more to the injuries from his rally crash that we don't know about, but something's going on there, and you know, it's good to see him on track, obviously, but I just don't know that he's a viable driver. And I think if you're Williams, all you can do is rebuild. And I think you cut your losses. And yeah, it would have been cool to see Kubica go up there and be competitive, but he's not. So I mean, what are you really holding on to? What's your take on ACC? Hey, Todd McDanger, how you doing, man? Audie asks, what's my take on ACC? Well, two things. I did a couple videos on it, but the two main takeaways. Number one, with ACC, I think the version we have now, which is 1.0.2, or maybe the only official release is 1.0.1, whatever it is, it's a point 0.8. They released it too early. Uh, yeah, it's an early access build. A lot of things are not complete. They have the right idea with the career, but it's not executed well. There's no incentive to sort of get to the next race and improve the team, improve the driver, improve the car. So that feels unfinished. The multiplayer very much unfinished. I think I raced at an 89 safety rating. Jumped into a race. I got taken out twice on the warm-up lap. And then again, when the race started, after I managed to hobble the car across the start-finish line, I got taken out on turn one. And that's with an 89 safety rating. So, I mean, you can't call that a well-executed multiplayer setup. They really need to do something about it. So that's number one. It still feels like an early access build. And number two is I don't think it should be called Assetto Corsa Competizione. I think that is working against them because I think people put it in the same category. They want to see it be Assetto Corsa 2. It's not. It's totally different. Assetto Corsa evolved into this wonderful hot lapping modding paradise that I still love to drive. And Assetto Corsa Competizione has very little to do with that. I think if they had called it GT3 World Championship 2019 or something like that, and you just knew you had a strict GT3 racing title, I think it works to their advantage. Again, I think the comparisons to AC1 really hobble it. So it's unfortunate. I expect to see more. I think probably by the time we hit some of the more major updates, like 1.4, 1.5, something like that, I think you'll see massive improvements. As of right now, it's a fun thing to drive, but if you're strictly basing it on something that's fun to drive, then it again gets lumped in with Assetto Corsa, because Assetto Corsa is really fun to drive, but it doesn't have a career mode or a multiplayer mode like an iRacing or a Project Cars 2. So if you're just putting it in the category with those, unfortunately, it's going to lose. So it's just unfortunate. ACC is not quite done, but I'm a big believer in Kunos. I love what they did with AC1, so hopefully it pans out. I really hope it pans out. I, for one, am rooting for them to succeed, and I hope everyone else is too. I mentioned it in my video that you know, the sim racing community is an overwhelmingly positive community. I consider a lot of people in this community friends that I'll never have the chance to meet. And there's so much positivity, and I hope people can maintain that positivity with ACC as it grows. I've seen a lot of people post basically tantrums against ACC. It's like, that's not helping anything, guys. Let's put together some constructive criticism, something for Kunos to build off, and we'll see improvements to the title. All right, so the racers are in their starting blocks. A random lady in a Renault hat I did not recognize is cheering on Daniel Ricciardo, starting from fourth. Let's see, audio is a bit low, Mike. I know, I'm sorry, guys. I don't do a lot of live streaming. I apologize. So what you're hearing is a iPhone mic. Apologies. Okay, here we go. About ready to start, and I'll double check the chat in a second. I just want to see how the start goes. Hamilton to the right of Vettel, 2 lights, 3 lights. They are away. Hamilton. Oh, Leclerc. Okay, looks like they are holding station. Everything clean through the first 2 turns. Vettel is way away. Yellow flag somewhere. Can't see anything there. I didn't see any passes so far. Not sure what the yellow flag is. It's somebody way, way back in the grid. It looks like. So Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault. So everything seems to be okay. Did not see what the yellow flag was. The track is clear. Green flag again in sector 1. Vettel is already way away from Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas, Valtteri Bottas, it looks like he is, he's dropped a position. Wow, he fell behind Hulkenberg. Wow. Okay, so it looks like Leclerc will get DRS. It looks like he's holding pretty tight to Lewis, but Lewis is dropping back from Sebastian. I haven't seen timing yet here. Todd McDanger, when does Audi send you a real R8 for testing? I'm waiting, man. I'm just sitting by the front door. UPS, come on, drop it off. I'm ready to go. Actually, I will be driving a supercar, a very electronic supercar later this year. For my birthday, my wife got me some track time with a. Oh, what happened? Alex Albon lost his front wing. That would have been the yellow flag. Haven't seen what happened. Oh, here it is. He was surrounded. Oh, it looks like, is that Kimi Räikkönen clipping that wing? No, Giovinazzi. I couldn't really see who that was, but either way, he lost his front wing. He's back on track now, so all 20 cars back in the running. Yeah, what was I saying? Nissan GTR. I'm going to be taking a Nissan GTR out to a track a little bit later this year, so Audi R8, maybe someday in the future. But yeah, I suppose that's a reference to the mod review I did, posted yesterday. That car is fantastic, man. I had such a great time throwing that around. Incredible. Like I said, I really like the physics of it, the way it behaves on corner exit. You kind of get to do that power slide, get that Chris Harris feeling. That car was such a blast to drive. Um, yeah, for everything graphically that Automobilista is, there's no doubt that it drives fantastic. I love that sim. And I get questions all the time, should I buy Automobilista? And yeah, of course you should. It's like $9 or $8 on a Steam summer sale. So why would you not? Great execution on car sounds in ACC. I agree. Individually, the sounds are all excellent. The problem I have, and not to be too critical of it, but I wish they had done more audio mixing. Because if you compare an onboard sound of a GT3 car, it sounds like ACC has all the right sounds, but it's out of balance. There's things that are way, way too loud. So that's actually, I'm having thoughts of doing that for a video in the future, is trying to get that balanced out, try to get it more lifelike. But overall, I agree. All right, so Hamilton just about 2 seconds back from Vettel. Vettel owns the fastest lap so far. Charles Leclerc about a second and a half back from Hamilton, 1.8 maybe. Then they're starting to widen the field a bit. Daniel Ricciardo almost 3 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. Bottas, I did not see the pass. I haven't seen a replay of the first lap, but he dropped a position to Nico Hulkenberg. And Pierre Gasly doing a great job. He is within DRS range by the looks of things of Daniel Ricciardo, so there could be a battle there. Actually, scratch that. Between Ricciardo, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bottas, and maybe one behind them, they're all within DRS of each other, so we could see a good battle here. All right, so here's the replay. We're going to take a look at Bottas. What happened? So he was in sixth. Wow, Hulkenberg just passed him on the outside straight up. Wow. Wow, that's fantastic. Good for Hulkenberg. Taking a look at the replay again with Alex Albon. Just hard luck, that's all that was. On board with Roman Grosjean. Looks like a pretty rough start for him. Hanging back. And then just a field of debris. Some of that debris landed in his cockpit. He had to push it out. That's hilarious. Imagine having the wherewithal in the middle of 20,000 horsepower cars and taking a hand off the wheel to push debris out of your cockpit. That's got to be terrifying. Oh, you can barely hear me? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, now my dog's upset that I moved. All right, Ben, is that any better? Visually, it just got a lot worse, but perhaps the mic is better. Look at all the dust. Yeah, I know that's a dusty track. I don't know what that is caused by. It's very interesting, but yeah, it's a real nasty area for dust for whatever reason. Oh, Todd McDanger, thank you, buddy. Glad you guys can hear me now. All right, so Charles Leclerc fastest lap, so he must be closing in on Hamilton then. Oh no, Vettel just took it back. Never mind. So I haven't seen the tires that everyone is running actually. I don't know when the pits will happen, but likely closer to lap 30 or so. Looks like a very pro Ferrari crowd. There's a lot of red in that crowd. On board with Max Verstappen, chasing down Lando Norris. From what I understand, there should be a lot of passing in this track, but I haven't seen much of it so far. And when you consider you have Max Verstappen chasing down Lando Norris, and within what's the gap there? Half a second. I'm surprised we haven't seen that pass yet. So I would think we would have Max on a mission. He looked really good in qualifying. I think this track suits him well. Bazaar, how are you? How are you? Thank you for joining. Oh, 13 people, 14 people watching. That's 13 more than I thought it would be. So welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Out of curiosity, where is everybody in the world? What part of the world are you in? All right, 7 laps complete, 10% of the race, 2.3 seconds now the gap. Vettel away from Hamilton. Switzerland, hello Andy. California, Todd McDanger. I'm jealous. I love California. I haven't been there in years, but just a real awesome part of the world. Probably going down to Portland, or sorry, to Oregon later this year. I don't know, Todd, if you ever go up north a little bit to Oregon, to the Oregon coast there, but depending on where you are in California, it might only be a few hours drive, and it's beautiful there. Oregon coast is amazing. I go there with my family almost every year. It's fantastic. Great part of the world. Underrated as a tourist destination for the U.S. All right, battle for sixth position: Nico Hulkenberg, Valtteri Bottas. What is the gap? 0.7 seconds. So DRS Bottas is wide open. 329, almost 330 kilometers an hour, chasing down Hulkenberg. So we had a huge speed advantage, but had to back off before that final corner there. Hey Travis, you're in Alberta. Cool man, thanks for joining. Australia, 4:21 a.m. for me. Oh my goodness, and that's Monday morning for you as well. So thank you for joining. You're a real night owl, or you're a morning lark like me. I'm always up early. That's the tough part about being on the west coast of Canada and being an F1 fan. I usually have to get up at like 4:45 to watch the F1 races because most of them, or most of the ones I like to watch are in Europe. So you subtract 8 or 9 hours from that, and it puts it pretty early in the morning. But yeah, thank you, Sun Levy, for joining from Australia. Ben from New York. I love New York as well. I was in New York in 2014, I want to say. Just stayed in Manhattan. Didn't really get to see everything in New York. Of course, there's so much to take in. I was only there for 5 days or so. But awesome. I love it. I love it. San Francisco used to be my favorite American city. I would say it's New York now after having been there. Just the people were amazing. Uh, and New York was everything I thought it would be. It was, very busy, very loud, but at the same time, the people were super friendly. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I hope to go back someday. Yeah. I'm close to Yosemite. Oregon is about an 8 hour drive. Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh oh. Lando Norris. He is running one heck of a camber angle. Fire at the rear. All right, Lando Norris will be out. So that's terrible news for him. His day is done on lap 9, sector 1, yellow. It doesn't seem like this should impede the race for too long. I wouldn't think. He's over in a good part of the track there. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. He's run he's running away like it's gonna explode. That's hilarious. Looks like when Mr. Bean crashed his McLaren in real life and just ran away. All right, what's going on here? Vettel is ahead of Hamilton, still 2.4 seconds. So Hamilton not dropping too far back. So we'll see what happens with the tire strategy here. Um, that's probably the wild card. I think probably more so than anything this year for Vettel, it's been, and this, feel free to chime in chat. I'd love to read your thoughts, but it does seem like Ferrari is letting Vettel down more than the other way around. Uh, you know, it just seems like there's been some questionable strategy calls. Have they decided who their golden boy is going to be? That kind of thing. And it just seems like Mercedes has done everything right. They have a great car, don't get me wrong, but it just seems like Mercedes also, with their strategy, has done a really good job where I would say Ferrari has not necessarily. So we will see what happens with pit strategy here. Both running the medium tires, obviously, at this point, they are the same age. So no one's pulling away from anybody at the top. Leclerc 3.8 seconds back from the lead. No, sorry, from Hamilton, and then a huge gap behind Leclerc to Hulkenberg, over 10 seconds now, and then it tightens up. Bottas has dropped back 1.6 seconds to Hulkenberg now. There we see Lando Norris. He looks fine. Haven't seen a replay, don't know what happened with his car. Obviously, some rear suspension issues. Showing the onboard replay from Lando. Yeah, just, I don't know, it didn't didn't seem like he did anything bad to the car. He just kind of overshot a corner, and then by the time he got back on the track, his rear tire just was hanging off. Who knows? Pretty significant mechanical failure. Every pit stop is an adventure for Ferrari. Yes, it really is. It really is. I mean, to be fair, at Monaco, I wouldn't say that what happened with Leclerc was Ferrari's fault at all. You know, he had that blown tire, and then he drove it like he stole it, and the results spoke for themselves. He got last place in that race, so there's nobody to put that on but Leclerc. He should have taken it easy back to the pits. Easy for me to say from a couch, of course, but it just seemed like the logical thing to do would have been to hobble it home at about 1/10 the speed, get back in the race, climb through the back markers, and hopefully get a top 10 position. But again, this isn't what I do for a living, so maybe he saw something I didn't. All right, who was that? Sergio Perez in the pits, just exiting now. I think he's the first to go in for tires. Everyone else just came in for mechanical issues thus far. Gaps up front holding. Hamilton maybe gained a couple tenths back, but that could be temporary depending on where they are on the course. And Vettel closing in on Robert Kubica for a lap on lap 12. Wow. Wow. That is embarrassing, man. I don't know even what to say about that. Yeah, just brutal. On board now with. This must be. Oh, Daniel Ricciardo. Whoa, what happened to Daniel Ricciardo? Oh, I missed that. Sorry. What's going on here? Oh, sorry, my bad, my bad. That was Hulkenberg. Was it? No, that was Ricardo. Can you tell this is my first time doing commentary? I think that was Daniel Ricardo. He has dropped way, way back. What happened to him? I didn't see what happened. I guess I was too busy reading chat or blabbering on about ACC or something. So his fourth position is now a seventh position. Hulkenberg looking strong. Kubica won this race in 2008. Now he's being lapped over. I know, it's brutal. Again, I touched on this a bit earlier, but you know the car is terrible. They have the worst car in the field, no doubt. But it's also, you know, even his teammate isn't doing as bad as him, and you know, so I don't know, lack of motivation perhaps. Beautiful aerial shot of Montreal there. I just spilled my coffee live to the world. Good job, Mike. DRS wide open there. Is that Verstappen chasing down Valtteri Bottas? Yes. Wow, less than 0.3 seconds separating Bottas and Verstappen. This is going to be a good battle here. Did Daniel pit already? I'm wondering the same thing. If anybody's watching this and knows what happened to Daniel Ricciardo, there was something bad happened there. He dropped way, way back. If anybody knows, can you just let me know? Might have been a pit. We are on commercial break, and I am watching a commercial for some superhero movie. Captain Marvel, in fact. So we are running lap 14 of 70 now. So those medium tires, I'm assuming will go a lot of laps. So we probably won't see pits from the front runners for quite a while. Now we're watching a TV ad for Dora the Explorer, the live action movie, which as a father I will probably be seeing against my will, but part of my fatherly duties. All right, looking way, way back in the field and looking at the tiny overlay of race versus commercial, it looks like Kubica is dead last. In front of him, Alex Albon, George Russell running 17th. I was impressed by Alex Albon so far this year, but not having a good showing today. If you're getting beat by Williams, you know you're having a bad day. Period. All right, what battles are going on? This commercial is just going on forever. Sorry, guys, I can't really see what's going on with the race. This video is probably going to get me demonetized too. I just realized that F1's very strict with their copyright. Hence the reason why I didn't put F1 in the title of this live stream. All right, so 2.4 gap is back to 2.4. I am full screen again here. Sebastian Vettel leading Lewis Hamilton 2.4 seconds. 4 seconds behind them is Charles Leclerc. Nico Hulkenberg, very strong showing. He's dropping back from Leclerc. He's about 13 and a half seconds back from Leclerc, but still to have a Renault that high, very, very good showing. Valtteri Bottas, not his day. This is perhaps just not a Mercedes track. Not sure what's going on there, but he's a second and a half back from Nico Hulkenberg. Max Verstappen chasing him, almost a second now separating Verstappen and Bottas. They did close to about point 0.3 when they were showing that battle, but it's separated now by almost a second. Quite a bit of the field now running hard tires. The only one person on soft tires, that is Hulkenberg. That explains it. Okay, that's why he's that high. So he's going to have to come in before everyone else, obviously, jump to perhaps the hard tires. It's about 29 degrees Celsius right now in Montreal. So I think those hard tires are probably a good choice. There's Hulkenberg. He's into the pits now. Let's see what he goes with. White walled hard tires are going on, so he'll be able to finish the race. He'll come out in, let's see, 7th position behind his teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Where is he going to come out? There is. Oh, okay. He dropped back even further, or did he? No, he came out ahead. I thought Stroll and Gasly were going to get him, but timing and scoring is showing that he came out ahead. So, yeah, good timing. Good timing for Hulkenberg. Giovinazzi featured here. Giovinazzi kissed the wall of champions there. Yeah. The wall of will never be champions, am I right? Yeah, Giovinazzi kissed the wall a little bit. Looks like he's fine. He just got a little bit of rear traction loss there. Kissed the wall at, yeah. He was running parallel to the wall pretty good by then, so he should be fine. Can't find anywhere to stream. Hey, Elias, sorry I missed you. I think Ricardo pitted early, like a few other cars. Max is on hards, one stop. I would think so, Todd. Sorry for missing that message way, way back. Max is on hards, one stop. Yeah, I would think. I don't know. I haven't seen the graphic overlay, but I would think he could probably get, 40 to 50 laps out of that and then jump to the softs to finish the race. So that could be exciting. Lance Stroll up to 8th position. Yeah, you're right. Wow, well done, Lance. If you know what, if you're Lance Stroll and you get top 10 here in Canada, I think that's as good as a victory. I mean, obviously we'd like to see him on the podium again, but that's probably not in the cards this year. But top 10 would be good. Elias, how are you? Can't find anywhere to stream the race, says Delta Bird. Yeah, yeah, I don't want to say anything about that. I'm watching it on TV, and I can't stream the video. Obviously, I can only stream commentary. So you'll just have to listen to my stupid voice commentate the race. That's all I can offer. You're not showing any copyright material. I know, but sometimes even the sounds. Like I've got the sound very low in the background. Boy, Lewis Hamilton, very rough ride in that Mercedes. Not looking good. Here comes the complaining train. Guys, I've got no traction. Guys, my front tires are done. Guys, something's going on with the front wing. You know it's coming. Anyway, he's a champion, so I think those gripes eventually end up in his favor. Hamilton is closing in on Vettel. Is that so? Yeah, he is. He seems to be pushing hard, about 1.8 seconds. He just locked up. That's very uncharacteristic of Lewis Hamilton this deep into a race. Just locked up going into, what was it, the final corner? No, it was the hairpin. So that 1.7 gap, Vettel from Hamilton went from 1.7 to 2.2. Here's the lockup. We're on board with Lewis. Yeah, front right locked up. Very uncharacteristic for Lewis. Usually runs pretty tight races with warm tires. So um, yeah, I actually enjoyed that Monaco race. I know there was a lot of memes going around about the Monaco. There was a meme or a GIF, whatever, of Mr. Bean coming down the stairs behind an old lady who just wouldn't get out of the way, and Mr. Bean had to keep going side to side, and they were saying that that's basically what Verstappen and Hamilton were doing in Monaco. I, for one, kind of enjoyed that race. It was cool for once to see Hamilton out of his comfort zone. I think he, is so often in his pocket, in his element, doing exactly what he does best that it's nice to see him struggle a bit. Obviously, he's an F1 driver. His job is not easy, but so many things just seem to be going his way this year. So it was cool to see him struggle a bit, and he still made it through. So credit to him. And I guess the worrying thing for me, oh, Bottas back up to fourth position. That may be on account of pits, but Bottas is climbing. Huge gap, 16.3 seconds to Leclerc, but Bottas back up to fourth. I was going to just talk about Bottas actually. So I was thinking with him so far down the grid that championship, the drivers' championship point standings, just is getting wider and wider. And I don't think unless you're stockholder in Mercedes, I don't think anybody wants to see that championship gap widen. Like let's have a proper championship. Let's get some competitiveness. And with Bottas further down the field, that just sort of solidifies things in Hamilton's favor. I think Mercedes has the Constructors' Championship, unless this second generation power unit or engine, I should say, unless it is terrible and has reliability issues. I think this is Mercedes' Constructors' Championship. I don't see anything happening on that front. But the Drivers' Championship still could be threatened. Obviously, things looking very much Hamilton's way so far. But you never know. You never know. If Ferrari puts together some wins and Vettel, it looks like Vettel is the guy for Ferrari right now. If he puts together a couple wins, maybe it gets competitive there. I don't know. Bottas still very much in the hunt if things go his way, but last two races, or Monaco at least, and today, Bottas hasn't looked like the same Bottas from the first 3-4 races, so we'll see how it pans out. Let's see here. Charles Leclerc setting fastest lap. Commercial again. 3.7 seconds was the last I saw. Hamilton in front of Leclerc. 4 seconds. So we're still well within that pit window. I'm going to say even the top four. Again, I can't read the timing, but it looks like the pit window would include the top four. If Vettel goes in right now as they stand, which he won't, but if he did, I believe he would come out right around where Bottas would be. So could be exciting when they do start pitting. I enjoyed Monaco as well. It was great seeing Max having a go. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Max is kind of a love him or hate him kind of character. I, for one, am a fan. I like his style. He does make some dumb mistakes, but whatever. He's also, how old is Max Verstappen? Not that old. So he's going to learn, he's going to grow, but at least he pushes the pace. He's not one of these drivers who like, oh great, I'm top five, I'll just, ride this out and get some points. I think he genuinely loves to win. And that's something, and I will get to the other comments, sorry guys, but I was going to say about wanting to win. Obviously every driver in that field wants to win, but there's a certain class of driver, a certain type of person that just, just beats themselves up mercilessly if they do not win, and they have to be fighting all the time. Lewis Hamilton definitely is in that category. That's why I think you hear all that griping on team radio. Is it's just it doesn't sit with him at all to be anything less than perfect, and I think that's why he's won so many drivers' championships. And I was gonna say I think Max has that as well. I think he's just totally well, not totally fearless, but pretty fearless and unrelenting in his drive to win races, and I love that about him. So again, the maturity, the sort of racecraft, which he's very good at already, but I think he's maybe a little bit behind the other drivers in some instances. I think that will get better, and Max will continue to be one of my favorites. So, um, is it just me, or is there even less overtaking in 2019? Says Jonathan. I saw an interesting stat, and overtaking has actually gone up. Whoops. Let's see. You guys are over there, so let's see. There we go. Overtaking has actually gone up recently. I saw a stat. It was like 2000 to 2019. The number of overtakes has actually increased. And the FIA, or at least Formula One, likes to point at DRS as being a cause of that. I think what's probably actually happening is when you have a Ferrari or a Mercedes who has a bad qualifying session for whatever reason, and they start way back in the field, they're just going to pick off guys. They're going to get 10 passes in the first 3 laps kind of thing. So I think that's skewing the statistics a bit. But statistically, if you look it up, and I don't want to be messing around because I'll probably screw things up, but there is actually more passing happening in recent years than there was through most of the 2000s. So take that how you will. Again, it could be skewed by one of the bigger teams just marching their way through the field in the event of a bad qualifier. Kev Edwards Sim Rally, how are you, man? What's going on in the sim racing rally world? Dirt, I saw, has a sale coming up. Dirt Rally 2 is 50% off. I'm still kind of on the fence about that one. I don't know that I play Dirt Rally enough to warrant buying Dirt Rally 2, but it does look exciting. And yeah, you do a great job, man. I love your videos. For those that don't know, Kev Edwards Sim Rally is my favorite rally sim driver. He's fantastic as a driver and great dude. So give him a follow if you're into rally driving. Oh, Aiden Millward, what's up, buddy? That sofa looks cozy AF. Well, there's a spot right here for you, buddy. Come on over. Hop a flight. Hope everything's good, man. Congratulations on your recent success, by the way. That's awesome. So great to see that. Yeah, I love seeing my friends in the sim racing community succeed, and it's so great, man. So great to see you with all that recent success. So congratulations. Um, ba, 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 ba. You're coming over in August, like to my house, or we didn't talk about this, man. Just kidding. Yes, I know you're going to be in Canada in August. That's cool. If it makes sense, we could grab a beer, but I know you're probably on a tight timeline. So shoot me a message, and if it makes sense, I'd love to shake hands with you, man. Comment back. I'm assuming this is about Max Verstappen. I hate his attitude, but he's been oddly mature this weekend. That's true. That's true. Not sure what's different this weekend in particular. Just curious, Elias. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce your name. What about his attitude? Don't you like? And that's a serious question. I'm not being critical of your opinion. I'm just asking what specifically has he done to shape your feelings of his attitude? Kev Edwards, Dirt Rally 2 is okay, but prefer Richard Burns Rally. Worth the purchase, though, I would say, especially at 50% off. Okay, cool. I still got to do that Richard Burns Rally thing. I know I asked you, Kev, I asked you for instructions on how to install Richard Burns Rally, and then I totally didn't do it, so I apologize about that, man. Yeah, I just don't find time for rally driving, unfortunately. Whenever I boot it up, I love it, but I just never make enough time. So maybe in the near future. All right, Ferrari out there looking to bring in who? I assume it will be Vettel. Yes, it is Vettel. He is in the pits. Hamilton has just blazed by. Lewis Hamilton takes the temporary lead. I don't know how much clean air he will have in front of him, or if he'll be facing back markers. But this could be a time for him to open up enough of a gap to hold the lead. We'll see. Vettel onto the hard tires, of course. That McLaren, Lando Norris's McLaren, is still in front of pit road there. They just left it. Lewis Hamilton team radio. I could not understand it. He's probably wondering when his pit time is. They're at lap 27 of 70, so about 40% of the race has been complete. Thereabouts. Hamilton 2.5 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Vettel came out in third. I thought he would be closer to Bottas. There's actually 3 seconds separating Vettel from Bottas. Looking down the field a bit, Max Verstappen running 5th. Then you have the 2 Renaults. Daniel Ricciardo ahead of Hulkenberg. Lance Stroll still holding his 8th position at his home track. Pierre Gasly, I believe he started 9th. He is still 9th. Carlos Sainz in 10th position to round out the top 10. On all the way down. George Russell has finally settled into the second last of the active cars. So the 2 Williams last, no surprise. Predicted gap, Vettel ahead of Hamilton by about 0.7 seconds if Hamilton goes in anytime soon. Again, this is where we'll see the intelligence of the Mercedes pit team, or the Mercedes strategists, I should say. They've done such a great job putting their cars in front this year. Wow. Vettel is flying just as fast as I said that. The predicted gap went from 0.7 seconds to 2.2. So Sebastian Vettel absolutely flying around the track right now. Lewis Hamilton losing time perhaps. But not looking good right now if Mercedes goes in for fresh tires. But I would think it has to happen soon. Lewis Hamilton team radio. Again, I missed it because I'm running my yapper. But Mercedes has the tires in hand. They are ready to go. They are out, presumably, for Hamilton. Will they back-to-back it again? Will they stack their pits? We'll see. Ferrari also out there. They will change Leclerc's tires. Hard tires, of course, for Lewis Hamilton. He is away. Charles Leclerc just Sebastian Vettel just set fastest lap. Leclerc in first right now. Lewis Hamilton comes out in front of Bottas, barely, tiny gap separating them. 2 Ferraris on top, followed by 2 Mercedes. Take a picture. How long will this last? Will they finish the race? Ferrari 1-2, Mercedes 3-4. We shall see. Max Verstappen hanging back, but still very much in the hunt. He is only about 3.5 seconds out of third place. So Max right there as well. Hey dude, show us your rig. Says Son of God 316. I really want to. I will do that very soon. You can refer to a recent video I did. I did a build of my new Next Level Racing GT track. You can check that out. Go back about 2 weeks in my channel feed and you'll see a video of it. I'm upstairs in my living room right now. I keep my rig in my basement, so unfortunately it doesn't make sense to show you. Kev Edwards, content is a bit slow at the minute. It's climbing season at the moment. So, okay, yeah. Enjoy yourself, Kev. We'll look forward to having more content from you whenever you get back. Aiden says, I went beach and listened to the old 90s. What? I went back and listened to the 90s what? F. Sorry, I didn't miss you on that one, buddy. MB says, hey Mike, have you seen the race department interviews about AMS2? Yes, I'm so pumped for that. Honestly, if you took AMS, if you took Automobilista, sorry, I just want to check scoring here. Okay, Leclerc is in the lead, but he hasn't pitted yet. Yeah, AMS2, if you took Automobilista in its current form, like if one of these genius modders came up with a graphics mod for Automobilista and just updated Automobilista 1 to more modern graphics, hey man, I'm good. That's one of the best sims in the world at that point. Graphics is all that holds it back. AMS2 is going to be running the same, I can't remember what they call it, but the same platform as Project Cars 2, which means VR, which is very exciting. Oh, Giovinazzi just spun out of nowhere. Managed to keep the car safe though. Stuck in the grass. Did he get out? Yes, Giovinazzi rejoined safely, so we're all good there. That was the yellow flag, Sector 1, presumably that will be lifted. Valtteri Bottas into the pits. Yeah, so AMS2, very, very excited. They're saying December of this year, which is actually 2 years beyond their expected due date, because part of the funding for Automobilista from Rizza Studios was that they were going to release Rizza 17, but of course, 2 years later, after that promise, we do not have Rizza 17, so it'll be more like Rizza 19, but I'm very excited for that. Pit teams are out. Canadian Oot. Yeah, the pit teams are out, eh? Hamilton lost a lot of time. He has, yeah. Not sure what the heck happened there. But the one thing you cannot do with Lewis Hamilton is count him out of a race, that's for sure. Oh, Foo Fighters! Okay, that's what FF is. Everlong by Foo Fighters is a favorite, says Elias. Yes, I agree. Love that song. Great tune. The entire first album is Candy Face with Hearts. I'm too old to speak emoji, Aiden. You know that. I don't speak emoji. Old School Foo Fighters. Madness Engine. Thank you. Thank you. That's the platform. So yeah, with AMS2, it's like, if Automobilista had updated graphics, it would be incredibly, it would be one of the best. But conversely, if you had Project Cars 2, if the cars felt like they did in Automobilista, you would also have, you know, debatably the best sim in the world. So I think it's a nice marriage. I think that's perfect. Hopefully Physics Force Feedback is better than Project Cars 2. Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, it's frustrating, and I don't want to go on a PC2 rant, but they did a lot of things right. They invested their time. You know, the tire modeling is incredibly detailed. The physics modeling is incredibly detailed. I always go back to the fact that they, you know, modeled the turbos in that game to be dependent on altitude. Like, who else is doing that? That's incredible. But somehow it just didn't all come together, and the cars don't feel as good, excuse me, as my other favorite sims. So yeah, let's hope that Rizza continues on, brings us the force feedback and the physics of Automobilista 1 for AMS2. Hope it doesn't have the same glitches that I've noticed and watched ACC have presently. Yeah, ACC definitely has its glitches. You have no idea. As a content creator, I think a lot of us with YouTube channels are really suffering from this. I'll be in the middle of a race, getting some content down, and then it just locks up, and it's the most infuriating thing ever. Off the top of the show, I was talking about how I sim race for at most about an hour a day in 2 30-minute sessions. I usually race a little bit before I go to work, and then before I go to bed at night after I put my daughter down. And so, you know, if I'm doing a 30-minute race, it's a big deal to me, and to have it lock up 2/3 of the way through is a nightmare. So again, I don't want to go back down the ACC road too much. I talked about it earlier, but let's hope they can. Oh, there we go. Ferrari's back out. We're at commercial break, but I can see Ferrari coming out to bring in Charles Leclerc, give him the hard tires. Coming up on the halfway point of the race, so he will comfortably finish this race on those hards. Vettel will assume first position, or excuse me, first overall. Hamilton already passed Leclerc. Okay, so we're back to Vettel, Hamilton, Leclerc. So it looks like all the top guys, with the exception of Max Verstappen, he has not gone in yet. So Ricciardo will be back up to fourth when Max takes his pit. Leclerc came out just behind Max. Max has those old tires. We're probably going to see Leclerc get by him, no problem. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the glitches with ACC, I think. Yeah, hopefully they get that resolved, and I, for one, am a believer in Kunos. Before you put your daughter down, that means something else here. Whoops. Yeah, I forgot I'm speaking to a global audience. Hey, okay, to be fair, Aiden, your country has a word for cigarettes that is totally inappropriate over here, so don't go criticizing, buddy. Um, I race before I go to work. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I usually get up. If I'm going to the gym, I'll be up at 5 o'clock. If I'm not going to the gym, I get up at 5:15. Have my shower, go through my normal routine, and I usually find some time to sit down at my rig beforehand. It's tough these days because it's really hot in my garage, and I don't want to be sweaty, of course, before I go into work. So it doesn't always happen, but as much as possible, I either go to the gym or race in the morning. Just if nothing else, it gets my mind going, gets my creative juices going, so it's all good. Um, Not being able to save between sessions in ACC is unrealistic. They've corrected that actually. 1.0.2, which is in beta release right now. You can opt into the beta release. Check the Kunos forums. It's very easy to opt into the beta release. You just need a code. You just choose beta within Steam, and then there's some code. I think it's like ACC beta test or something like that. And then you can get 1.0.2, and you can save in between sessions, which is great. I know a lot of people were calling for that. So I guess, let's see, is there anything exciting going on here? Who's close? Who is that? Valtteri Bottas overtaking Ricardo. Oh, wheel to wheel, almost. Ricardo held on. It looks like Bottas is very, very close, ready for that pass. So we'll see what happens there. I was gonna say something else about ACC. Oh yeah. About ACC. So I mean, it's no big secret that what happened there. Oh yeah, Leclerc passed Verstappen. Like I predicted would happen. I think Max's tires are pretty old. He's got to come in. I don't know what he was trying to prove there. He's not going to hold off Leclerc on his fresh new tires. But anyway, that's done. Hopefully they get Max in soon, get him back out on track, and fight for a top five. Yeah, the worrying thing for me about ACC, we're back to talking about ACC, like I said I wasn't going to do, is Kunos has been remarkably quiet. The only media they've been doing is talking about the cars they've created and sort of the history of the individual cars, which is great to read, but I would like to see them be more vocal to the community at large. Maybe they're doing it in their own forums, I don't know, but it'd be great if they did a race department release saying, we hear you, we're looking at it, we're trying to make the career more in-depth. We're trying to make the multiplayer, you know, more sorted, more equal playing for drivers, whatever they say. But some acknowledgement, please. Okay, so Hamilton chasing down Vettel. He's gaining about a half second per lap. He's cut that down to 2.5 seconds. So Hamilton on a charge right now. He's got fastest lap so far. We're just past the halfway, lap 36 of 70. Uh, bu- 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 yeah, Aiden, yes, I got you. Think AMS will have early access. I don't know. I don't know. Hasn't been great for Kunos. Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, early access is great. You're supposed to be using it to sort of identify issues and you know, hopefully work through bugs, but obviously that didn't work out in Kunos's favor. It just created this storm within the sim racing community of what ACC is not. I think it worked against them actually. I think if it had just dropped at 1.0 and they had you know a select group of 100 testers or something like that, both professional and sim racers, I think it probably would have been better. So maybe they've ruined the model with ACC early access. We'll see what happens with that. Think Ritza might listen a bit better. Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think part of the reason that ACC has struggled in certain areas is because Kunos. I know Kunos is owned by a different company, but my guess is Kunos 505 is not a big company. You're not talking about you know like a Codemasters or something like that, or Polyphony Digital, Sony, where they have effectively unlimited resources to churn something out. So I think they ran into that headache, and Rita would definitely have that problem. They're a very small company, so it's if you open it up to early access and start getting feedback from the community, and the problems are many, will they have the staff to deal with it? Who knows? Who knows? So it could be more headache than it's worth. All right, back to the battle here. Bottas chasing down Ricardo. There is about a half second separating them. Bottas all over Ricardo. But then there's a huge gap in front of them, about 15 seconds. And again, we're past the halfway mark of the race. So will either of these guys be able to catch up to the top, let's see, top three? No, probably not, because number three right now, Charles Leclerc, then 4 seconds separated him from Max Verstappen, and then 15 seconds back from that is the Ricardo and Bottas battle. So unlikely any of these guys, and probably most notably Valtteri Bottas, will get on the podium. So even if Hamilton does finish the race where he is, which is second, that championship standings gap just gets wider. So unfortunate news there. But very impressed by Renault here. They're looking good. Would obviously love to see this continue. Any team. Oh, here he goes. Bottas. Will he get it? Yep, he got it. Okay, Valtteri Bottas passed Daniel Ricciardo up into fifth position, but again, there's a very sizable gap to the car ahead. So he's going to have a lot of clean air in front of him. Ricciardo challenging, did not get it. I believe Bottas had some residual DRS or something there. I'm not sure what was going on, but he definitely had a huge jump on Ricciardo and already spacing that out to over a half second. So here we go, replay. Valtteri Bottas went one way and then ended up to the left of Daniel Ricciardo and very comfortably got that pass. I think everyone on the track knew that was coming, including Daniel Ricciardo. Held off for as long as he could. Still a good showing from Renault. They're running 6-7 right now. And then the top five is pretty much how you would expect it. If you were a gambling man, you probably would have said that it was 2 Ferraris, 2 Mercedes, and Max Verstappen in the top five to finish the race, and that's how it's shaping up right now. Yeah, nice move, Bottas. I agree. Will the Renaults blow up? I don't know. That's kind of heartbreaking for me, if I'm being honest. I'm a fan of F1 more than I'm a fan of any individual driver, but I do really like Daniel Ricciardo. And I know he was having serious mechanical issues last year, and it stunk. And then he moved on, figured things would be better at Renault. It hasn't been a great season for him, and I hate to see him so far back. It's the same way I feel about Kimi. I'm not a diehard Kimi Räikkönen fan, but it sucks to see him so far back. Where's Kimi right now? He's running 13th. And it stinks. Like, I mean, you look at Kimi at Monza last year, and it's very exciting to see him so far up the grid and, fighting Hamilton, holding him off. And now it's like, who is Kimi battling? Well, he's, 8 seconds back of Sergio Perez. It's like these great drivers, they just get saddled with, I would want to see bad teams, but non-contending teams, and it stinks to see them so far back. And that's the way I feel about Daniel Ricciardo. So hopefully they can get their mechanical issues, to your point, hopefully they can get their reliability issues sorted and, become a consistent, at least top 10 team. I don't think they'll be a championship contender, but that's okay. If you can be top 10 in this era, you're pretty good. Andy says, I really like ACC. I believe within the next 3 to 4 months it will be fantastic. Have to agree. Yeah. Oh, only 1 second, by the way, separating Vettel and Hamilton. Yeah, 3 to 4 months for ACC. I hope so. Again, I want to see more from Kunos. I would like to see some acknowledgement. Just to hear them say, like, yes, we hear the community. We know there's these problems. We're working on fixes. Would be good. Right now, it's just been sort of a trickle of very small bug fixes, but hopefully we get that. And I agree, in 3 to 4 months, it should be great. I mean, they supported AC1 for a very long time when you think about it, because I believe it was released in 2014, and I want to say, what was the last DLC release? Was that the Ferrari with the SF70H, among other cars? I believe that was in 2017, so 3 years of support for AC1 is very, very good. And so yeah, 3 to 4 months and for ACC support should be right in their wheelhouse, I hope. Martin Brundle was a journeyman that never got the break. Yeah, there's a ton of those guys who just never got ahead in F1. Will ACC come to consoles? I get that question a lot. Obviously, I have no inside knowledge for Kunos or what their plans are. When you look at the user interface, it does look like a console user interface. If you compare that side by side with the console user interface for AC1, I mean, it's very much along the same lines. So it's possible that what happened with the development of AC1 was, there's the PC side, which looks like one thing. There's the console side, which looked like something else. And then Kunos just looked at the two and said, okay, which one are we going to saddle ACC with? And, just decided that they like the console version better. It's possible that that happened and they have no plans to bring it to console, but um, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's probably also dependent on sales. If ACC becomes this huge juggernaut for them on PC, then moving to console and tapping into that market would make a lot of sense as well. I guess the question as well is, do you shape it after PlayStation 5? Because I believe PlayStation 5 is not that far off. So, it's possible you have the first racing simulator on the next generation of consoles. So maybe they're looking at that. Who knows? But yeah, yeah. I think actually for the next generation of consoles, I believe we'll be getting Gran Turismo 7, which in terms of sales will absolutely dwarf anything ACC could ever do. So they might not even be gunning for that. Who knows? All right, back to the race. Hamilton now within DRS range. Wow, he's really hunting down Vettel. If you're a Ferrari fan, you just man, this is tough. This is tough because it's great to see your guy on top, but this with 27 laps to go and Hamilton on a charge within DRS range of your guy. You got to be worried, man. You got to be worried. Maybe you get into a Monaco situation where, just Hamilton can't find the pass, only this time he's on, the losing end of that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But probably not good news for Ferrari here, unfortunately. And we'll see. We see the Red Bull team there. They're looking a bit worried. Did Max come in yet? Let's see. I can't see. They're at commercial again. I can just see a tiny overlay. It looks like Max is 10 seconds back. He's on the hard tires. I would think at 44 laps, he must be right at the end of life for those hard tires. Somebody back in the field. Valtteri Bottas just set fastest lap. Wow. Gap Hamilton to Vettel now over 1 second. Valtteri Bottas just ran a 1:15. Wow. Wow. So at race pace, these guys are going to be probably fastest lap of the day will be in the mid 1:14s. That's pretty staggering. Man, these guys are flying today. Hamilton gaining on the straight, interestingly. Okay, I'm watching a Matthew McConaughey commercial when there is a battle between Ferrari and Mercedes for P1. Let's go. Get it back. Has Verstappen pitted? I had the same question, Jonathan. I've been just running my yap this whole race. I haven't had a chance to see. I could probably figure it out. Oh no, because he was in fourth. I would assume he would drop back at least one position if he did pit. So I'm going to say he's on his original tires. He's holding out for as long as possible. He'll probably get softs to finish the race up. So that could be exciting. That Ferrari doesn't like the hard tires by the looks of it. I mean, two of the top three are running hard tires, and they are Ferrari. So I wouldn't say they hate the hard tires. Valtteri Bottas now into the 114s already, so he's just at 2 consecutive fastest laps. He was a shade over 115 previously. Now he's a shade under 115. Absolutely flying. But I hear your point, Aiden. I don't think the hard tires are entirely appropriate for this Ferrari. But you're saddled with it now, so I guess you just got to hold off. Vettel doing a great job, by the way, holding off Hamilton. That's no small feat, and he's been doing it for a while now. The gap now about 0.6 as they cross the start-finish line going into lap 46. Mercedes has an incredible slow corner grip. Yeah, I mean, try and find a flaw in that Mercedes. Sometimes you see during qualifying, sometimes you'll see Hamilton, I wouldn't say overdrive the car, but he pushes it beyond its limit, and you see the small corrections in the wheel. But overall, that Mercedes is just probably the most formidable race car ever. I mean, you talk about total domination. You'd have to go back to like the McLaren MP44 or something like that to see a car this dominant versus its field. It's just incredible to watch. So, I mean, it's not competitive, unfortunately. So, We, as you know, experiencing this generation of F1, are kind of bittered, and it's like, you know, this is not competitive, this is unfair. But I think when history looks back on this era, it'll be like, wow, like Mercedes had that good of a car, that's incredible. And a, you know, five-time World Drivers' Championship. History will look back favorably upon this, but it's not the greatest generation of F1 to watch, that's for sure. Now you know how it felt watching ITV's broadcast, Mike. Adverts when something good was, yeah, it's brutal. Like I get it, they got to sell ad space, totally get it, but I guess I'm just being selfish because I am not earning any money from those ads, so I'm just being selfish. Did you see the videos of a developer at Kunos? He has a channel on YouTube. Really informative stuff. Unfortunately, mostly in German. No, I hadn't actually heard of that. So I will definitely check that out because even if it is in German, I'd just be curious to, you know, hopefully there's English subtitles or something like that, and just be curious to know what's going on behind the scenes to some extent at Kunos. Battle for the lead, pretty much holding. They're running into traffic, which should get interesting. Lewis Hamilton on team radio. Who knows what he's complaining about? It's hard to keep track of that guy. I like Lewis Hamilton, don't get me wrong, but his team radio calls do get a bit annoying after a while. I mean, it's anything from no front grip to the stitches in my racing suit are abrasive. You never know with that guy, but he gets the job done. And speaking of get the job done, he is closing in. He is very, very close to Sebastian Vettel now. And again, as a Ferrari fan, you're taking a pretty hard look at this because this is going to be tough for Vettel to hold off for 22 laps. Vettel off the track, he ran into the grass, and wow, just about collided with Hamilton. Hamilton tried to go around safely. Vettel, I'll have to see the replay. That looked like a pretty unsafe rejoin. Let's take a look at a replay there because it looked like Vettel went off and it looked like Hamilton had the line and Vettel just rejoined right in Hamilton's way. We're looking at the replay now. Vettel lost it over the grass and then went very wide right into Hamilton's way. Wow. Wow. Maybe I'm talking out of school here, guys, but did that not look like an unsafe rejoin? It seemed like he should have held to the left side of the track there, and he didn't. He went very far wide, knowing that's the racing line. I don't know. I think if you're Lewis Hamilton, if you're Mercedes, you phone up the stewards and have them have a look at that. That seemed a little bit unsafe. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm talking out of school here. Bottled. Close. Yeah. Let's look at this. Okay, here's the replay. Vettel. Yeah. I mean, if you're Ferrari, you have the argument that, well, he didn't have control of his car. He did the best he could to not hit the wall. Oh, there's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen into the pits finally. We'll see where he comes out there. He has a pretty sizable... Okay, Bottas has passed him now, so Max Verstappen back into fifth. I believe he'll come out quite far ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, so he should be fine there in fifth position, and that's likely where he'll finish because there's such a huge gap in front and behind. So, oh, what am I talking about? Never mind. Who was that? Okay, Max Verstappen down to seventh position. I apologize. I thought that gap was, they showed a 34-second gap somewhere. And anyway, Max Verstappen now behind the two Renaults. So if you're Hulkenberg, watch out. That's going to be a long 21 laps. Max Verstappen is going to fight to get by those cars. He knows he's got the faster car. That's going to be a good fight. It looks like there's no review going on of the Vettel-Hamilton incident. Again, if you're Ferrari, you're saying, well, he did his best just to control the car. He rejoined the track out of control. He tried to keep it off the wall. He landed where he landed. If you're Mercedes, you say, well, he came off the grass and went directly into the racing line. So, yeah, I guess it's just a racing incident. Everyone made it out okay, so the hunt continues. It looks like the gap has widened slightly between Vettel and Hamilton. I'm going to say that's slightly over a second now. Woo, that was close. That was close. And on board with Lewis Hamilton, looking at this incident now. Vettel off into the grass. Hamilton went for it on the outside, and yeah, Vettel just beat him to that spot. So it's unfortunate, but like I say, as long as both cars came out, there's no damage there. Nobody kissed the wall. He didn't force Hamilton quite into the wall. Hamilton missed the wall by a few inches, so all good. Race continues. It'll be an exciting finish. About 20 more laps to go. It was dirty, but no need for a penalty. I agree. Totally agree. Oh, and it's under investigation. Now, this will be big. This will be big. If the FIA comes down and hands him a 5-second penalty or something even minor like that, I think Ferrari fans are probably going to walk away from the season altogether. Because again, nothing came of it. I agree with Jonathan there. I totally think that it's a racing incident. You look at it, everyone came out fine. If you're Mercedes, you wag your finger at Sebastian Vettel for that. And if you're Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari, you just say, well, all's well that ends well. So hopefully the FIA stays out of this one. Let's have a good finish to this race. 19 laps to go. Let's see these two of the best in our lifetime. Let's see them battle it out here in Canada. Most of the drivers would have done it like that. Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, I think honestly, if I was, and I'm just a guy who sim races in his garage, but if I was sitting on any sort of council about this incident, I would say that Sebastian Vettel, he came off the grass, his car was bouncing, he did his best to correct it, but it happened to correct into the racing line. Nobody got damage to their cars. Carry on, boys. Good racing. 0.6 seconds now, the gap 0.7, 0.8, thereabouts between Vettel and Hamilton. If you're wondering, third place, Charles Leclerc, about 10 seconds back. He will not be in this fight, this race, unless they run into some serious backmarker issues. Valtteri Bottas setting fastest lap so far, 23 seconds back from Charles Leclerc, so he will not get a podium. This will be the first time this season that a Mercedes is not on the podium, correct? Max Verstappen in 5th, huge gaps there. So it really falls off. After the top two, you start to get a really spaced out field. Daniel Ricciardo in the hunt, actually, my apologies. He is less than a second separated from Max Verstappen. So those two did come up very, very close. And then Hülkenberg, very close. Okay, so Max got the pass, my apologies. So Max came out of the pits with his fresh tires. He's overtaken both of the Renaults. And the Renaults are right on his tail, so that gap will likely widen. So they didn't show any of that, they just showed the top two, but Max Verstappen with 2 key overtakes there on his fresh tires. Vettel went into the racing line. Yeah, he did, Andy, but I'm not convinced that... Sebastian Vettel, fastest lap. Wow, did not see that coming. Yeah, he did definitely go into the racing line. I'm not convinced it was intentional. I think his car was probably out of control. You saw it sort of bouncing, skipping across the track. So I just rule that as a racing incident. No harm, no foul. Yeah, is what it is. But as of right now, Vettel has just found some extra pace. So maybe he was doing some tire conservation, or maybe Ferrari's looking deeper down the field, trying to widen the gap intentionally right now, trying to force Lewis into a mistake. Who knows? But that gap, which was hovering around a half second for a very long time, they've added about a second to that. And thank you, TSN. We now have another commercial, but the gap, Vettel has pulled ahead by about a second and a half on Hamilton here, running lap 53 of 70. Hopefully this is the last commercial break. 17 laps to go at about a minute 15 per lap. So what's that? 20 minutes thereabouts to go. I'm sure TSN will find a way to squeeze in 3 commercial breaks during that period. We'll see. All right, here we go. A little bit of a break in chat here. So Let me know who you think. Who's going to be the top three? Top three order here. Leclerc will finish third no matter what. Who do you think is going to take it, Vettel or Hamilton? Let me know in the chat. At this point, it's looking pretty favorable to Vettel, I would say. He seems to be finding some extra pace now. Seems to have sort of settled into a groove. Lewis Hamilton may be sandbagging a little bit, letting Sebastian get comfortable, but I doubt it. That's not really Hamilton's style. I think he would just as soon get it over with and just start building a gap. But they will run into a Williams soon here. That's Robert Kubica probably going down 27 laps. So that could create some issues. But you would think that Williams would be good at getting the heck out of the way under a blue flag condition. That is their wheelhouse. Ferrari and Mercedes know how to win races. The master of the blue flag, the Williams team. So the gap right now is a Burger King Whopper. But the gap, I think, in those tiny few pixels in the corner of my screen, about a second and a half. So it seems to be holding. Yeah, 1.592 is what I'm showing right now. Hamilton back from Vettel. It's unlike Lewis Hamilton to just hang back and accept a second place. So you better believe he's going to make a charge at some point. Probably around lap 60 would be my guess. Yeah, Travis, I see it too. Hamilton is holding back. If no penalty, then I think Vettel will take it. Yeah, okay. So two people also believe that Vettel is going to take it. But I think this gets exciting in about 5 laps. I think around lap 60. What I've been noticing with F1 is, unless your name is Max Verstappen, you typically do not push in the last couple of laps. I think these teams, especially in the front-running teams, Ferrari and Mercedes, they like to sort of take their podium position and get the points rather than risk losing it. So I'm guessing if by about lap 67, if Lewis Hamilton has not made the pass and that gap is still around 2 seconds, you'll probably see him back off and just take the one step on the podium. I mean, either way, you're going to have 2 Ferraris and 1 Mercedes on the podium. That's encouraging. After a pole position from a Ferrari, and then you'll have 2 Ferraris on the podium. It's very encouraging. We've got some exciting races coming up, actually. Where are they next? Let me check the schedule here. Tired of looking at my own face on the second screen anyway. Let's see. Okay, so they are giant graphics. Okay, so next. Why can't I even read that? Okay, so as of July, okay, so one more in June, and then as of July, Austria next week. Oh, that'll be exciting. Yeah, because if Ferrari does have the advantage in the straights, then Austria gets very interesting because, of course, there's so few turns at the Red Bull Ring or Spielberg that could play into Ferrari's hands. So, I'm not going to make a case that Mercedes is going to lose the Constructors' Championship. Oh, Lewis Hamilton, man, his tires are just messing with him. He totally screwed up that hairpin. So something's going on. I think Lewis has issues with that car. Leclerc now under 10 seconds, actually under 9 seconds now. Leclerc separated from Hamilton, so Hamilton might have a fight on his hands to hold on to second. Oh, Sebastian Vettel gets the 5-second penalty. Okay, well, there you go. Again, if you're a Ferrari fan, now is the time for outrage. That was a racing incident. Stupid. Again, I go back to no harm, no foul. I don't think he tried to claim that from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton having some serious issues with his car, though. Will he be able to hold within 5 seconds? Here we have a replay. I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think he blocked there. That's disappointing, man. That's really disappointing. Yeah, okay, so Charles Leclerc is making a run at Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton now separated from Sebastian Vettel by about 3 seconds. Sebastian will have to pull out all the stops here, push really hard, try to open that gap up to 5 seconds within 12 laps. So he's got to gain about 2 seconds on Hamilton. Yeah. Come on, guys. Let the guys race. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, sorry, it's my stream, so I'll have a rant here. Sebastian Vettel, he's the fastest guy coming in today. Into today, he had the pole position. He's running a great race. You have a racing incident. It's no neither of the cars got damaged. Lewis Hamilton is having some issues with his car. It's not related to that incident. Let the guys race. Let Vettel have his hard-earned victory. A 5-second penalty? Are you kidding me? Ah. Yeah, Formula Mercedes, Aiden, I agree. If it was the teams reversed, is that call made? I don't know. I've said this about 30 times now. I think it was just Vettel bouncing across the track, trying to regain control of his car. You saw him crank the wheel hard over as a correction. He's not cranking that hard to block Lewis. That would have been a terrible way to block somebody. You're more likely, if you're in control of the car and you flip the wheel over like that, guess what? You're going into the wall. It was a correction. He's trying to keep the car on the track, and he gets penalized for it. 5 seconds. So now 2.5 seconds is the gap, Vettel to Hamilton. So it's actually, T minus 2.5 seconds. So, I mean, if you're Vettel, you just got to go for it. You got to pull out everything, try and gain, 2.5 more seconds somewhere. If you're Hamilton, you just pretty much hold back, keep Vettel in your radar. Anyway, all right, let's bring it back to the positive. It is what it is. 5 seconds has been handed out. The media will cover this and say whether it's fair or not. Who am I to judge? I'm a guy who plays video games in his garage. So let's see. Justified outrage has arrived. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to get negative on you guys, but just kind of frustrating. I wanted to see a battle. Now we have just a time battle. So I apologize if I was negative there. Look at that, the Canadian apologizing. What a surprise. This is how statistics get more overtakes in 2019 by giving penalties. Exactly. Yes. So stuff like this. Dangerously rejoin the track should only be considered when the other driver is beside you. Hamilton was behind him and had time to react. Correct. Exactly. Vettel did what he needed to do, and Lewis Hamilton was able to do what he needed to do to avoid the contact, and it all worked out. Isn't that what matters? Okay, tough call for Ferrari, but Vettel did not seem to try to not go into the racing line. Sorry, Vettel did not seem to try to not go into the racing line. You know what? Fair point. Maybe he didn't do enough to stay out of it. I was thinking that he was just kind of holding on for dear life. But you're right. Maybe he could have done more. So again, who am I? I don't sit on the FIA board. Or the council, whatever. I play video games in my garage. Who am I to say? By the way, 10 people watching now. Thank you so much. That's 9 more than I thought it would be. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Really appreciate it. Great to see some familiar names. Appreciate all of you coming. This has been fun. I might do this again with a little more preparation. I'll do my best to improve the audio. But thank you guys so much for joining. Really appreciate it. He didn't have anywhere to go. A disgrace, says Bill. Yeah. Aiden says it's bollocks. I'll have to put bollocks into my English to English translator. We don't say that over here in Canada, so I have no idea what you're talking about, Aiden. Please clarify. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Aiden. Sorry, who was it that made the point before about? Sorry, Andy. Andy, you make a good point that maybe he didn't do enough. Here's the replay again. Maybe he didn't do enough. Maybe he could have stayed out of the racing line. Lap 48 there, the incident. Yeah, but and not to disagree with you, Andy, but in my mind, it's 90% a bollocks call, to use my friend Aiden's word, and 10% chance in my mind that Vettel didn't do everything in his power to stay out of the racing line. So not to discredit what you're saying, Andy, but for me as a race fan, I just want to see these two battle it out, and I think the result of the incident spoke more than the intent. But who knows? That was racing and nothing else, says Bill. Todd asks, "What sim will you drive after the race?" Good question. Good question. I found I found a really cool mod. Yeah, what a surprise! Sim Racing 604 found a new mod. It's an indoor karting track for Automobilista, and I've been having really a lot of fun with it. I absolutely suck at racing karts in any sim, but the indoor track is really fun because it's cool. It's like something you could do, at your local karting track, and Automobilista has such great karts that it just fits perfectly, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, will I release a video? I don't know. Like, 8 people watch my Automobilista videos, and I can put out an ACC video, and I get big numbers from that. But I'm kind of tired of talking about ACC, if I'm being honest. I know it's what everyone wants to talk about, but I don't feel I have any value to add to the ACC commentary at this point. So I'm not sure what I'll do, but I might just race for myself after this. Maybe I don't know. I've been neglecting Nordschleife. My good friend Fireman 601 has been really improving his times at Nordschleife, learning the course. I haven't run it in a while, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll run some Project Cars 2 there. It's been a while since I've done PC2, so we'll see. Vettel would have been better off cutting the corner and rejoining safely. I think he took the high road. Watch the onboard. Vettel was struggling for control, says Travis. That's how I saw it. I didn't see that he was in control of his car. In the surroundings, oh, Hamilton's going to pass me, I better get in his line. I didn't see that personally, but what do I know? Thanks, Andy. My coffee is ice cold, Jonathan. Thank you for tracking the plot line through this live stream. I've been drinking the same gross coffee that's been ice cold for like an hour, but Jonathan is the first one to notice my suffering with my cold coffee. So high five, Jonathan. Thank you for looking out for me, buddy. I would walk over to the microwave, but then you guys would just be staring at this couch and this IKEA artwork here, and I wouldn't dare subject you to that. Being subjected to this mug is enough suffering. I wouldn't leave you with just art to look at. So it is what it is. I'll drink my cold coffee, Jonathan, but thank you. It is very cold. All right, so while I've been talking about other things, Hamilton has considerably closed the gap. He may get this pass. He may be by Vettel, and then that 5-second penalty won't even come into play. So maybe in the greater picture, it didn't matter. Who knows, guys? But those of us who predicted Vettel would get the victory, short of a Hamilton mistake here, it's looking like it's not going to be Sebastian Vettel getting the victory here. But no threat from anybody outside of the top 3. Valtteri Bottas is half a lap, more or less, behind the top 3. So it will be 2 Ferraris on the podium. Hamilton, again, failing, or, allowing for no mistakes here. Hamilton will get the victory here. He'll take the 2-step. And then we'll get a speech about how this was the toughest drive of his life. And congratulations to Ferrari. The pace is incredible. And blah, blah, blah. I mean, after, what is he at, 70 victories or more, I guess I would probably run out of things to say as well. I sound like a Hamilton hater today. I'm not. I actually like Lewis Hamilton, but it's just getting repetitive, if I'm being honest. I've only been back into F1 for like the past 3 years, and it's just kind of been the same plot repeating, so I'd like to see something shake up. They should do a charity race at the end of the season. They should switch cars. First overall jumps in Robert Kubica's car and vice versa. Then they race it out for charity, like 50 laps, no pits, hard tires, track of your choice, All the money goes to charity, and we'll see what happens. Wouldn't it be interesting? See the top drivers in the worst cars? I would like that. And then Renault would just pretty much switch seats because they're both right in the middle. But not today. Renault having a great race, 6th and 7th. They are both down, both a minute off the pace, which is effectively a full lap here. 0.7 seconds now. Hamilton is behind Vettel. He is right on his tail. He has no reason whatsoever to pass Sebastian Vettel. He's just going to comfortably stay in behind. He'll get the DRS with no motivation whatsoever to overtake. So this last 3-4 laps is going to be the most boring racing action you will see today. And that includes my videos, so that's really saying something. Hamilton would have had the pass here if he had wanted it, but again, he's just hanging back. Sunday drive for Lewis Hamilton here in Canada. The race stewards basically ended the race with 20 to go. Bad decision. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They took away any chance for excitement here. Yeah, I can't wait to see the press write up on this. Stupid, but okay. Vettel's move screamed 90 Schumacher. Yeah, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember much about Michael Schumacher, if I'm being honest. Oh, by the way, I was going to ask you guys, and maybe Aiden, maybe you're a good guy to ask about this. Is Mick Schumacher going to drive in F1 anytime soon? I was just curious. I just heard his name come up because I think in Monaco he had a major crash. Is he F1 caliber, or is he skating by because of his name? Just curious. Oh, Aiden. You brought up the name of Schumacher. Now you have to defend your position, buddy. Not a fair comparison. The nope, is that a nope referring to is Schumacher going to be F1 caliber? Okay, that's interesting. Because I think he was testing with Ferrari. Yeah, he was testing with Ferrari. So I was just curious how that was panning out because he races F2 if I'm not mistaken. So just curious if he was knocking on the door. That would be exciting for F1 if we had another Schumacher for sure. Lance Stroll, yes, 9th overall. He will be top 10. Oh, but people are all over him. Wow, Lance Stroll barely. What? Oh no, sorry, my bad, my bad. That was just back marker traffic. Lance Stroll with a great move on the McLaren there. Wow. Can we get that Lance Stroll at every race, please? Is that his mom? Wow. Um, okay. Schumacher did a no-no. I gotcha. Okay. All right. So no surprise here, guys. Still holding 0.7 seconds. Lewis Hamilton has DRS. He's using it just to sort of stay even with Vettel. So yet another race. Mercedes on top. Yeah, we'll finish up this race, guys. We'll look at the points overall. Toto Wolff looking very happy with himself, and how could you be anything but happy? Yeah, we'll look at the points, and then I'm probably going to wrap this stream up. If there was anything else to talk about, I'd probably hold on and chat F1 for a bit or sim racing, but a little bit frustrated right now. Imagine if this battle that we're seeing on camera right now, imagine if it mattered. It'd be great racing, but it doesn't matter. So, let's see, Leclerc. Oh boy, okay, here's a plot. Charles Leclerc may finish ahead of Sebastian Vettel here. This is interesting. So, 1 lap to go effectively. Charles Leclerc just outside that 5 second. He's at 6 seconds. If he can somehow gain 1 second in this final lap versus Sebastian Vettel, he will finish second. So best believe Charles Leclerc, he's already set fastest lap, and he is going to push very, very hard. Gaining 1 second in a single lap is almost impossible, but we'll see what happens here. Sebastian Vettel, no doubt he's aware of that situation. Will he be able to hold on? He's got Lewis Hamilton harrying him from behind. Gap now 5.6. This is the plot here. 5.4 seconds now. Leclerc back of Vettel. Oh no, my bad, my bad, my bad. Am I reading that wrong? Oh, sorry, sorry. Yeah, it looks like 6.3 seconds. Sorry, I didn't account for Lewis Hamilton's time behind Vettel. My apologies. Okay, so who? Somebody just set fast this lap. That was Valtteri Bottas sneaking a point at the very end of the race. New lap record, Valtteri Bottas. I said it was going to be in the mid 114s, a 113.078 at race pace, final lap. Incredible lap, Valtteri Bottas. Okay, so they'll cross the line. Sebastian Vettel in first, kind of. Yeah, yeah. Lewis Hamilton with the official victory here. Bottas wakes up at the end like he used to. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Jonathan, thank you, man. Thank you for hanging out. This was fun. I will definitely do this again. Yeah, like I said, I figured it would be like one or two of us hanging out, but 10 of you thought to come, so thank you so much. Thank you. Um, Nothing else for me to talk about here, guys. So I think I'm probably just going to wrap up the stream. So thank you guys so much for joining today. Really, really appreciate it. So great to see so many familiar names. And I will, if it makes sense, I'll do this for some future races. Thank you guys a lot, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you very soon.